welcome to another episode of Fenton Unscripted. We have a very special guest here today, Sebastian from our development team. We're excited to talk about some things in the works. Your team has been very busy with lots of projects in the pipeline. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here?
Of course. Well, thanks for having me here. My name is Sebastian. I joined HG Fenton in November as an assistant project manager. I'm now the project execution team leader. So our main responsibility is to move the projects forward, foresee any issues, problem solving in real time, quickly. We support the projects throughout all phases, from like design until a finished product. That means we're bringing it through the planning department approval, through schematic design, and then through the permitting. So we coordinate a lot internally, but also with the external consultant. So we engaging architects and SMEP consultants, civil engineers, up until sprinkler consultants. We work with a big team, ensuring that we are outcome oriented and design something unique per the Fenton's vision.
Awesome! Wow, lots going on there. So with all that, so we're talking about development today, specifically more on the residential side of our portfolio. So you kind of touched on it, but what are some of the day-to-day responsibilities you specifically oversee?
Okay, so my day-to-day responsibilities are mainly ensuring that the projects stay on track, on schedule, and within budget. And again, we're very outcome oriented, so we're curious about what we generate as a future project. We don't want to just create a good project. We want to create a great project, and that's from a creativity perspective, from a design perspective, but also from a business side and a business perspective. So we want to ensure that, and that's reflected in my day-to-day responsibilities, that everything is smooth and on track. So that means the coordination with consultants, bringing the project through permitting, but also doing a lot of pre-construction work. So it's a big envelope.
So how much would you say you are on site with the architects and the contractors versus here in the office doing some more of the project scope that requires the permitting and the official city sign off on things? What's kind of the balance that you see there?
I would probably say out of 5 days, there could be a whole day where we are out on the field and on the site. It really depends on where the projects are sometimes, and that's the greatest gift, to be an assistant project manager, or in the role I currently have. We have projects in the design stage and projects under construction. So sometimes as an APM, you are involved in a project which is more on the design side, so you maybe not so much on site, but then that can shift, and then you're needed on site and you need to problem solve with the subcontractors. And in average, I would say it's about like a day a week.
So with that, you said earlier that you are coming from experience in an architect firm. Has there been anything notable with your experience here at Fenton, specifically in the development world, that differs and is unique from the industry as a whole?
Yes, absolutely. So coming from an architectural company and architectural background and studying architecture is already different than the owner side. Now we are hiring the architect, so we we are on the owner side, and I think that's one of the key aspects here at HG Fenton, that there's a strong culture of ownership, of strategic thinking, but also of mentorship. So everyone is curious and cares. We have a really high competent team in-house, but we're also engaging top-tier consultants. And so that together, and the curiosity about the project and like the outcome, is something I have not experienced in the past.
Would you say there's anything that you get to do that you would have loved to be able to do in a different role in the same industry of development and architecture, that traditionally or just across the competitive market of development that other roles may not allow you to do? For example, you said you get to have a lot of curiosity over the projects. Is there some scope in there that you get really excited about doing because in the past you haven't maybe had that opportunity?
So the uniqueness is that everyone cares, and it's not only for the development project, the physical project, but also people care for you. There's a strong mentorship program here, so people want you to grow, and if you do and you put in the effort, you can grow whatever department you're in. I think that's not only for development, but that's what I experienced. So you're heard, you can bring up ideas, you don't need to be shy to share some ideas, and those ideas are considered. And yeah, everyone is using your skills. So again, I'm coming from architecture, so we can use our architectural skills in plan efficiencies, for example.
And so you say your ideas get heard. What are some things that you get to do that excite you? Like, is the design side different and new to you that you get to have input on the type of finishes that go into the units, or the landscape architect, or kind of what are some of the things that you really enjoy learning more about?
It's very exciting to see and work on projects which are in different phases. So in previous companies, I was part of either the design and the density studies or the permitting side or then the construction. But here, and especially in our development team, we have the opportunity to like work on all the several stages, and that's extremely exciting. What I truly enjoy is a project coming to life. So like it all starts with a vision up front, maybe a sketch, maybe by the architect or by ourselves. Someone acquires a project, and then at the end you have a finished product. So I'm very excited about that aspect. What I do really enjoy and where my skills come in as well is making adjustments early on, which then completely can drive the outcome. So when you look at a floor plan and you increase a little bit of square footage for a unit, that makes the unit itself better. That's a better experience for the future tenant, but also it ups NOI. Beside all the different stages you're allowed to work on, and another unique factor is also the long-term hold and the value with that. So we're not just like creating a good product which we then sell after like 7 years. No, we're generating projects which we are planning on holding. And so that reflects in all the decision up front, like what materials are you using? And then again, being able to utilizing skills and saying, oh, we use an enhanced material, but we make the project more efficient, means there's a potential cost saving with a better product.
Yeah. Sounds like there's a lot of problem solving and kind of thinking on your feet. It sounds like you really get to walk the project, see where there's opportunity to maybe change order and make sure it's more effective for the long-term resident experience, essentially, and the project vision, budget, all that good stuff, all on its own. So that's super impactful, I think, for our projects and the way that we consider not just the development side, but then the resident experience. Has that been new for you to kind of switch gears and think about how things will be lived in long term versus just how we get to the finish line with construction and architects?
It hasn't changed in like what I always wanted to do in my life, but a lot of times with like different players in this industry, you can't approach it that way, right? Like it's always a triangle between the budget, the schedule, and the future tenant and the experience. And sometimes you don't have a long track record like HT Fenton does. What's great here and what I really enjoy is that we are focusing on like a long-term hold and like the tenant experience. And so each decision we are making is reflected in this. So we're not in need of selling a project after 5 years and using maybe materials which are which only last for a certain amount of time. We want to generate something for a long-term hold, and yeah, that's reflected in the quality of what we're doing here.
With that being said, do you have any last advice or insights as to anyone maybe interested in joining a development team, or specifically here at Fenton? As I know our development team is growing. You guys are extremely busy with lots of projects. So what would you say to someone who's maybe interested in getting into that side of things?
What I would like to say is that I joined HC Fenton last year in November, so I'm only here since several months, but I'm extremely happy on where I am. The culture here is something I have not experienced before. The guidance and mentorship is outstanding. The way to educate people about what does success mean, what is the outcome we want to generate, and then understanding it. So bringing again the creativity and the thoughts and the design and the business side together is what I experienced here. I'm growing here, and yeah, I would only want everyone to join the company.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're extremely busy on all of our upcoming projects, so we really appreciate all the insight that you gave us here, especially as our development team grows and has lots more coming our way. And thank you so much for watching another episode of Fenton Unscripted.
Thank you very much.